We are live.
We are live and welcome to another episode of Risk Raiders. That's right, where you get the wisdom of two seasoned property and casualty insurance agents and owners. I'm Jeff Shropshire, joined by my co-host Brent Borgstedte. Mr. Borgstedte, how are you today?
Very good, my friend. Very good. It's
Awesome.
Friday. Let me tell you something that you don't know about what's happening right here in Houston. We had a little bit of a cool front. I'm not saying cold front. Cool front moved
It's
through
90 degrees
yesterday.
down there now, huh?
72 this morning.
72. The weather today has been brought to you by GBS Insurance. We love that. Listen, folks, this podcast is for you. It's for the consumer. It's for the insurance company people who need to learn something. It's for agents who are looking to be better. We are going to share our wisdom with you. We are not giving you professional advice. So if you need anything for your home or business, you need to call that agent who's just dying to talk to you right now. You have legal questions, you call the attorney. Don't call us. Don't ask us. We're two morons who are just having a good time, who are going to try to give you wisdom and some ideas to where you're better at buying insurance or making risk management decisions for your families. That's kind of a good promo. I kind of like that one. That's a good disclaimer instead of saying, this program is no legal advice. And I hate all that stuff.
Well, if you're going to do it that way, you got to say it really fast. Like it's got to be.
We'll work on that. I'm going to try to get faster, ladies and gentlemen. But today I want to start off. I'm a little hungover, not from drinking, but from winning.
I love
you
this.
know, Trump had that line. Are you tired of winning? And the answer is no. I'm
no
not
one gets
tired of
winning. Never.
But I am tired.
You can't be tired from winning, but
I am
of winning.
Let me tell you about it. This week, I'm back in the saddle, but I spent the first week at state tennis championship. It's team tennis in the fall for my son, who's a senior in high school. And man, Brent, I'm telling you, we've been like inching. I mean, our program is not like, we're not a tennis school. I don't even know. We don't have tennis courts, but these kids have been working, and we've been working up the ladder for 4 years. And by God, they won state.
That's amazing.
In their team tennis. I'm so proud of my son and his team. It was totally team effort. If you don't know anything about team tennis, you play multiple doubles, singles, all these things, but you win 5 out of 8 matches against another school, and you have to go through the brackets. You go through all this stuff. It was amazing. It was the teams that we played, amazing, great schools. Everybody was great, but there's nothing like winning. But the hangover, I was telling my wife when I was driving home, I was all excited. And then I woke up, I guess we got home Tuesday, and I woke up yesterday, and it's been a 3-day hangover of like, I don't really care about anything.
It's a letdown.
She's like, you got to go to work. And I go, wow, we're state champions. She goes, you didn't play. I go, I paid for it. I go, I've been playing tennis with this kid for 6 years. I've been working out with this kid I've been letting him kick my ass on the tennis court for 3 years, humiliating me. And I got to sit there and walk off going, son's a state champ. And he earned every bit of it. I had nothing to do with it. But, it's just, I never had an opportunity when I played sports. We never won shit. I mean, we were everybody's homecoming team. They played. They played us for homecoming, they're like, oh yeah, let's play them. And sure enough, they had a happy homecoming.
Well, let me tell you something. You're wrong about one thing. You had everything to do with it. I mean, you drove them all over to God's green acre.
I know, but
there's so much
the place
to get to that place.
Where we played, it was 92 degrees. The humidity was 500%, and there was no wind. It was just, we were sitting in those little lawn chairs, and I got up and I had a pool of water in my chair, and I got, is that this? Is that sweat? It was pure sweat. I was melting. And I had an umbrella. So I looked like a little old, but they call me Zeus. His whole team, the whole team now is with the hair and the beard, they call me Zeus now, which is great because I should probably just go by that here because no one there really knows my name, which comes in handy.
When they try that guy Zeus, the guy
Zeus,
and
I'm always like, no, little G. It's a little G. Private school, Christian schools don't want to think. You got to keep them straight. Go, no, it's a little G, not a big G. We're good. So I have this. I think I've created a moniker for myself in these state things. This is the 4th year in a row that I've gotten. Well, not personally, but Indirect. Well, yeah, I have personally. I get in trouble for cheering. I and let me make this clear, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a tennis parent or whatever, you have to understand cheering. There's appropriate cheering, right? You don't cheer through a point. You don't cheer when somebody serves, and if the other kid makes a mistake, you're not talking to the other kid at all. It's all positive cheering, just for your team, your kid, whatever, at the appropriate time. And I've always followed that rule. But I swear to you, and this is for a lot of parents out there in private schools who are kids. You can cheer in tennis. Quit losing your minds, folks. They're just losing their mind. These parents lose their minds. I've had USTA officials called on me every tournament. And what happens is the judge comes and says to me, we're talking, and then I'm cheering with him standing next to me exactly as it was before. And I go, is there any problem with this? He goes, no. He goes, I don't know why the hell they're not cheering. He goes, they sent me over here. And I go, well, I'm going to send you back over there. Why don't you tell them to cheer for their kid?
My complaint is they're not cheering.
Last year, a lady turned me in for cheering. She sends the utility. So he and I are over there laughing, right? We're talking, and I'm cheering right with him there, and I'm watching her just boil over there. And so the match was over, and my son's team won that one. And we walked by, and their fans just start screaming at me. And the official was there, and he goes, he did nothing wrong. And I go, you are horrible parents. I go, how dare you let your children compete without you saying a word? That's horrible fanship. And I got in trouble. We got an email even after this last tournament about, oh, thank y'all for turning down the noise. I'm like, can you imagine that at a football game? If we were like, hey, there's too much cheering going on. I got in trouble, and there was this one coach from another school. I'm not going to mention anybody's names because the school's great. She's a whack job, and she literally went nuclear on us and to the USTA official, and he was like, oh, she's on drugs or something. And we had to kind of come to a grips. And as soon as, we played her, I mean, what did we do? We toned it up. She was losing her mind. She was getting bit by chiggers over in the woods too. She's over there itching. And then she's screaming, she's itching, and she's starting to get pock marks all over because there's one court was over in the trees and there's a very little area, and everybody was getting eaten up by chiggers over there. And it was the funniest thing because by the time we ran into her, she was swollen. She'd been stung so many times. She looked like she had like the pock marks or something. She's losing her mind, going crazy. And so I'm just going to tell you, folks, you got to keep it under control. You can't go nuclear on people for cheering, especially when they're cheering right. So that was my experience for this week, and I'm still a little hungover with it. That's my story. And I think when I was thinking about nuclear, Brent, you sent me an article on some of these crazy ass nuclear verdicts that are going on in the insurance world. Let me just say, I'm not getting involved at how much somebody should get out of the court, how much somebody should get, whatever the jury does, that's fine. But nuclear verdicts, this article you sent me, is going to literally affect every single person who has an automobile or a home or a business. What do you think?
Well, I was shocked when I saw the headline of it. I thought I was reading it wrong. It was in one of the insurance journals. I can't remember which one it was. Insurance Business something. Anyway, it was a verdict against Johnson and Johnson that was right at $1 billion. It was $966 million. And I thought, what the heck? And I got to reading it, and the plaintiff was like 88 years old, and had
Was she
been
a tennis
damaged or
mom?
had been
Was it at a tennis
harmed by
tournament?
talcum powder. At that age, I'm thinking, how on earth did you even build a damage model for someone that age? I mean, not knocking someone being old. I mean, I'm old, but I'm just saying, $1 billion for somebody that's 88 years old. First of all, I don't know how you get damaged by talcum powder. I don't, maybe you can, I get that. I mean, it's good possible, but it's just an example of, you get a verdict that's just completely, it's completely untethered to reality. And I think what people don't realize, and this happens when the jury gets a hold of something like this, we're just going to give them all the money. It's insurance company's money anyway. What they don't realize is it's not the insurance company's money. It's the premium paying public's money that you're giving away. And in that jurisdiction and other places, that verdict is going to impact rates, like you said. And when you go into a courthouse and you get in an auto accident and you give, $10 million to a plaintiff, guess what? Your rates are going up. Well, people say, why are
Surprise.
rates so high? This is why.
Well, I know.
Uh,
I know.
it's crazy.
You can see it sometimes when you read these things, and people, if you're one of the consumers and you're listening to this and you're wondering, what does this have to do with me? Brent already kind of covered it. It's going to affect your bottom, your pocketbook. And again, we're not in the business of saying how much a jury should award or not. But there's something that has to be looked at with this, because when things seem to start getting tilted a little bit beyond, I got to say this about the talcum powder thing. Day one of this tournament, where it was 92 degrees and 500% humidity, was a little uncomfortable. But day two, I had enough Gold Bond powder that every time I sat down, I looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. There's this like poof, white cloud, and then I'm sitting there and I'm kind of dusting myself off, because after that
People are like,
first day of
oh,
sitting in
what's
there,
going on with
there
that
wasn't
guy?
enough talk. I was like, I don't care about cancer. I don't care about anything. The boys are going to leave. They're just going to jump off. They're going to sever themselves from my body, and they're going to kill themselves. But I did. I sat down and I felt like I was like baking over there. There's a flour everywhere. My wife's like, what was that? And I go, nothing.
Nothing.
Just look
You're like
forward, straight ahead.
in Peanuts, that pig pen. He's always got that little cloud around him. He had a little cloud of Gold Bond around you the whole time.
And I had that little menthol, and I'm sitting there going, oh.
Oh,
And everybody's like, what is going on with the guy who yells so much?
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just getting toned up
He's
here
like
for
he's
just a minute.
smoking over there. What's happening with that guy?
His butt burst into flame. What was that? I'm sorry, I digress. But anyway, no. But the thing though that also too, when you read these things, that seems kind of out there. That's like, that's not going to really affect us. But
Or
what a lot of,
they think the money's corporate.
yeah, and they think that it's like the investors' money and that it
Yeah.
comes from all these different things.
And
And
it
folks,
is partially, but the bigger picture is it's your money.
yeah, I mean, money comes to insurance companies through various ways. You've got the investors, you've got the premiums, and then of course they invest the premium dollars into investment. They have to, there's only certain things they can invest in to get a rate of return. That's why a lot of the times when premiums have gone up, you can almost when you look at the investors or where the insurance companies can invest and the rates are so low and no one's making money. That's when premiums go up, because they are required to carry, thresholds of money available to pay these claims.
Right, just to
So,
maintain their rating, their
right.
financial ratings
And
the
then you
best,
do
they have to
hear,
meet tests. Right.
can't beat around the bush. It's like health insurance too. I was watching the thing yesterday, and they had this CEO of this health insurance company, and they're making $281 billion. I mean, so then you also hear of excessive profits of insurance carriers.
Sure, it
And you and
happens.
I are just little middlemen of wisdom. So we don't know all that stuff. But what we do know is that if you're going to have car premiums where your premium's around $3,000 to $5,000 and you have a car accident, and every time you do, it's going to cost $100, $300, or $2 million. I'm not a smart person, but I know that that's going to tilt. Eventually, that's going to break. And some of that is what's driving auto insurance rates here in the
Absolutely.
state of Texas, especially commercially, because there is a lot of litigation on every type of auto claim, and that's just part of the world. And then that's all within the law, and that's what's going on. But as long as it goes on, it's going to be a problem. You see it in commercial property. A lot of times there's a lot of scuffles over property claims. Is it covered? Is it not? Third parties get involved. And then all of a sudden, you have a building that was $3 million in building, and by the time you put a roof on, it's over $500,000. And the premium that business was paying was $8,000. And if it
Right.
happens a lot, you're out of whack. So what do you think we should do? Well, if we're talking to our consumers and our partners out there in the insurance world, what information should we be sharing with them?
I think something that's important for people to consider, and I know a lot of people don't like to do it, but when you get a jury summons, don't throw it away. Don't ignore it. Go
Right.
serve and be reasonable. I mean, I think, not that people deserve nothing. I mean, if you're in an auto accident and you get damaged or you get hurt in an auto accident, the other party, if they're at fault, they owe you your medical bills and the things. I'm not saying you should not get settlement, but you don't deserve $1 billion. And so serve on a jury, and give out reasonable rewards. Because I think a lot of times the only people that go down to the courthouse and serve are people who you know don't care. I mean, they just think, oh, I'll just give them $1 billion because it's not my money and it's not, it's just some big corporation's money. No, it's your premium dollars that are going down the drain on some of these big verdicts. And so, guess what? Your premiums are going up. So, I would
Yeah.
say protect yourself by serving on a jury.
I think
Answer the jury summons.
that's a great idea. That doesn't cost you anything but time. It's a duty. You learn a lot. I was on a jury. It's funny because sometimes when you're in insurance, you don't really ever get on juries. I got on. I got next to one. I got to the voir dire. It's a great process. You got to figure it out, and you can see a lot of it. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, no one wants to do it, but every time I've done it, it's actually been a pretty good experience. And there's always some funny stuff that happens there that you kind of. No, I mean, not if you get on one of those horrible, like an abuse thing. And my thing was a guy a guy was driving the getaway car from stealing 3 briskets out of a grocery store.
Get out of here.
Yep. His buddy goes into the store, has an overcoat on. It's like July, and he
What
puts
are
the
you in this slammer
he
for? I'm
puts
the
the
getaway
brisket
driver
he
for
puts the
Brisket
he
Boy.
puts the briskets between his legs, walks out of the little store,
You
jumps
shitting
into
me.
the car. The sheriff starts chasing him in this little town. And the guy I was watching with loses control of the car, rolls it. Brisket is everywhere. No one's dead.
It's a chopped beef sandwich before they get through.
And you're like, I couldn't make this shit up. And I was like, I was sitting there when they're telling me the story, you're trying to be like really respectful and stuff. But
Start
I'm like,
laughing.
I'm shaking, like I'm laughing. And then my brain's going off on, oh, what all can I do with all this? What all
You want to
but
comment, right? That's my problem all the time. I want to say something, right?
I
Out
know.
loud.
I used to work in a produce department when I was in college, and I had a little experience with this brisket stuff between the leg thing. Because this lady, it was Thanksgiving, and she was trying that with the turkey,
Come
and
on,
so
man.
we saw her do it, and we were following her through the store, and it was so cold that her legs got numb, and then she's walking, and she didn't know it, but the turkey dropped, and she's still walking like it's between her legs, and we let
It
her
was so
walk.
cold, she lost
We let her walk
sensation.
all the way through until she got the sensation back. And we picked up the turkey, and then she turned around, and we're like,
Nah,
no. And then
that was
then
fun,
she
but
wanted to
no.
complain that she had freezer burns on her in her thigh, and that was back in the 80s. And we're like, get the hell out of here, But it was so great to watch her
I,
still walking.
I
It was
actually
beautiful.
think y'all should have given her the turkey. I feel like she earned it.
Well, she should have. It wasn't my turkey to give, man. I'm a customer.
I know.
You know, Here's another thing I would tell people to do too. You need to look at your limits of liability,
Yes.
because you need to know in certain places where you go, things can be more litigious. Again, I'm not bashing on all that. It is what it is. But anywhere, many times on the auto, in your personal auto, you need to look at it on your homeowners. Commercially, my gosh, everybody needs to be looking at higher auto limits and umbrellas, an excess policy. That's a
Oh,
policy
yeah.
that sits on top. But I'm telling you, claims are costing more. We can complain about these sorts of judgments, but they're a reality. And, if they exhaust your insurance, they can come after your personal assets. So it's not like, oh, I'm just going to carry the cheapest insurance and everybody's going to go. If they want, they don't have to stop there.
No,
And
and they can file a judgment against you. Even if you don't have the money, they can still file that judgment, and you can't sell a property or buy a property or do anything until that judgment is cleared. And so it is a thing. And I hear people say all the time, I'm judgment proof. Well, yes and no, you might be, but if they care to file that thing and keep it over your head, they can mess up your life for a long time. And I say this all the time: umbrellas are cheap,
no,
and
Yeah, and tell
I think,
people what an umbrella is. What because if we have somebody that
well,
if you don't have one of these, this is for personal and commercial. Brent, kind of give them an idea of what we're talking about
I
with an
think
umbrella.
it's the simple way to explain an umbrella is like you've got a, and this is, I'm talking about in a personal line situation, your home and auto. You've got a homeowner's policy that's got a limit of liability, and you got an auto policy that's got a limit of liability, right? Well, an umbrella is like a stack of poker chips sitting on top of those. It's an extra amount of money in the event that something really bad happens. Like we say here on the show, a lot of black swan events. You run into somebody and injure their child or multiple people, your limit of liability in your auto isn't going to be enough. And so the umbrella is there as a buffer to add layers of liability coverage in the event that something bad happens and you need more than what your auto policy has by itself. Uh, it's just an extra layer, and they're really, honestly, they're not that expensive, $200 or $300. And man, it's one of those $200 or $300 expenses that when you need it, you just can't believe. And I haven't seen that many claims go into the umbrella, but boy, the clients are super happy when it happens, and they're like, "Do I have an umbrella, right?" You got an umbrella, and the good
Yeah.
news is the insurance company's going to hire a really good lawyer to defend you because they've got a lot of chips stacked on top of you with that umbrella. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It helps you in that it will pay that verdict if that bad day ever comes, but it also gets you better representation from the insurance company when you're in an
Wow,
accident.
that's a good point. Great point. Yeah, and that's the thing too when you're looking at your auto commercially, personally. Think about it, folks. How much are vehicles costing now that are on the road?
Oh,
If you were just caused an accident and you totaled somebody's car, it used to be there was no cars in the world over $70,000. Now, $70,000,
starter.
50,000, 100. Now you start getting, I mean, you go crazy. Think about if you just totaled one car. What happens if you had a multi-car accident that was your fault? What happens if there's more than one person in the car? Everybody knows how much medical bills are now. Everybody's bitching right now about health insurance. I get it. But if you injured three people in a car, how long does it take to go through those limits on your auto policy? And in the last 5 years, I'm going to tell you, those numbers have increased exponentially. So there's plenty of people driving around that don't probably have enough limits to take care of the reasonable damages that they may cause, not the crazy stuff that we're talking about, just a
Just the
normal
run of the
claim,
mill.
just the run of the mill. And then you find out, oh, I could have had 2 or 3 times or an umbrella, the limits that I had for a few hundred. Yes, no one wants to pay more premium, everybody. We get it. But my father used to say this. Sometimes you just need to cover your ass.
Yeah,
You cover
and
your
this is that
ass.
time.
And you cover it by how much can you afford to lose. Don't everybody takes it personal. It's not personal. It's protecting everything that you've worked for, your home, your finances, everything that you've done. And I'm not trying to sell you more insurance. But when you're out in the world doing your thing, it's easy to get lost of the cost of all these things and the exposure that you may have. And Brent and I have talked about this on other podcasts. This is a good time to wake up on a lot of things. Commercial businesses too. You need an umbrella policy for sure. If you have a commercial auto, trust me, you
I
need it.
think we're not. I think what you just said is right. We're not trying to sell you more insurance. What we're really
No,
trying to say is let's
we're not your
allocate those
agent.
dollars
Yeah.
differently. Take higher deductibles on some of the underlying policies and take that savings and buy an umbrella because you can't you can't cover the infinite loss of a liability claim that's got no limit really.
Yeah, put the
uh
money to the unknown claim versus the known claim. If you
right.
total your car, you can look up on some of these websites about how much shit I lost about 50,000, $20,000 in my car. You hit a carload of kids, you tell me how much that's going to
Sky's the
cost.
limit.
Sky's the limit, and that's not unreasonable anymore. And again, we're not your agent. We're not giving you advice. We're giving you the ability. You need to get with your agent, look at your assets and talk about this.
And
If you
have a
want to call your
conversation
attorney,
about where am I putting my premium dollar.
yeah, yeah, where am I being smart? Where am I really protecting and covering my ass, as Johnny would say, God bless his soul. But that's what you have to do because these verdicts, I mean, you talk about that lady screaming about me cheering. Just think what your spouse is going to do when they're going to go, oh, well, thanks for saving a couple $100, and now
Well,
we're in deep gravitas shilloli, for the rest of our lives.
and while we're talking about umbrella limits, that claim we were talking about earlier, that claim against Johnson and Johnson, those guys were naked. They're
And that means,
self-insured, so they're going to eat that verdict.
yeah.
And I would question their risk management in that situation. I mean, really, we didn't buy a layer starting at 100 million or something. I mean, I don't know. I really don't get that, but may have had their reasons. I don't know, but
Well, that's why you sit with your agent and you go over your personal finances, because some people can afford to absorb a lot more themselves. Some people have
absolutely.
enough cash reserves. You don't have to buy it all in insurance. But then maybe you can put something like way up here if that holy cow moment happens. And you've got to spend time with your professional people, because every family, every business is different. You can't take any of these things as a blanket statement. So it's time
Well,
to be responsible.
you want to self-insure from the bottom up. In other words,
Ah, that's a good point.
you want to take the risks at the lower level. Like if you think, oh man, I can go. If you're going to go naked, you know, take a 10% deductible on your home, and have a $250,000 deductible on your property loss. Don't don't take the infinite exposure of the liability claim that could be $100 million if you run into a busload of kids. Don't take that exposure. Take the $250,000 exposure on the property. That's a quantifiable loss.
Yeah.
Uh,
Known versus unknown.
yeah,
I mean, that's how you make your decisions.
right. And so it's really a bottom up thing. Don't take that blue sky possibility of an infinite claim that could go to who knows where. Uh, be thoughtful, and like Jeff said, sit down with your people, your agent, and have some real conversation about what my tolerance is for loss and what can I afford to absorb.
Here's a way you might want to approach it. When you sit down with your agent, if you got to get an accountant involved, I don't, it depends on your assets. And this is going to sound hard to do, but when you do this, do it first without talking about premium or quotes. And trust me, this is better for your family. We always understand premiums, quotes, that's all fine. Sit down and figure out what those numbers are, what your risk is, what you can absorb, how much of this. Then your agent can go to the marketplace to find the products that matches that. Most of the time people go backwards, or they
Yes.
just don't know. They start getting quotes and all this stuff, but you sit down and figure out what your maximum deductible could be. What could be this? What's your exposure of autos, accidents and stuff? Sit down with your professionals and do it. Then when you get your grid, that's your life. Then he or she can go to the marketplace to find the best tool or product to fit your need. That's how you should, if your insurance is going to be part of your risk management plan, whether you're commercial or business, you need that step first
Right.
before people start throwing numbers and
Yeah,
premiums.
quotes are the last thing you do. You need to
Yeah,
decide how you're going to
it
manage
has
them.
to be done, but
Yeah.
it's done at the end. It's not done at the beginning.
Right.
That's
You want to
just
figure
not.
out what kind of package you want to buy first and what you want to self-insure, and that then you go, yeah, you're exactly right. Do that part last.
We see
Uh,
so many people who come in here and we're starting. I get it, because it feels like everything's a transaction. But in today's world, insurance risk management's not a transaction, it's a consultation. And then
yeah.
if you need those vehicles to take care of you, and with auto insurance, you need it for the law and stuff. But you got to come at it that way. And anybody, you don't have to be rich. You don't have,
Mm-mm.
that's how you should come at it, regardless of how much money or how much assets you have. This strategy works for a young person who's just out of college that has nothing. It works for somebody who has their own $1 million company and they're rolling in it. So
Yeah, let
that's what
the
I would tell
agent
somebody.
design the program for you. We do it for free. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, they'll put
They don't get
together a
paid by the hour.
program,
It's
and
great.
you know, it's not that complicated. It'll take them about 30 minutes to sit down and talk it through and figure out kind of where you want to be, and then go get the policy quoted. It's not that complicated, really. And it's another one of those times where you let your professional work for you,
Yeah.
and take their advice. They know what they're doing,
Yeah. You pay
for the
them
most
well.
part. Yeah.
You pay them well. There's nothing wrong with it. And if you have an agent or legal advice, they love doing this. You find the person who loves this,
Yeah.
and you're going to be more confident in what you're doing. There's a lot of good people out there who can sit down
There
with you and
are.
do that.
All
It's
right,
kind of
we're about at time, but we've got to talk
it's
about college football because our Red Raiders are
homecoming.
on a smoke and roll.
It's homecoming.
So I went to the U of H game last week since I'm here, and it was fun. I have to tell you, it was fun. I took my middle son, Nicholas, who went to Tech, and we were not obnoxious Tech fans. I didn't throw any tortillas. Not a big fan of
You're
that, by
letting
the
me
way.
down. You remember, I just came off of this, right? I mean, I just
Right.
got in trouble for cheering, and I'm kind of thinking that's the rule now for everything.
Right. Lighten up on the tortillas. But anyway,
Did they
people were
arrest a
throwing them.
couple of kids for throwing tortillas? I heard that a couple of kids, little kids, got detained for throwing tortillas.
They did.
Is that
They
true?
kicked some people out of the game. But
If
they were.
Texas,
I got to
I'm telling
tell
you,
you, at somebody else's stadium, I don't think it's appropriate to throw the tortillas. If you want to throw them in Lubbock, that's fine. But I think
you
when
know
you
what
go
you're getting when you bring
someplace
us in.
else, I just don't think it's a thing to do. But anyway,
If I had it my way, those kids would be down on the coin toss this Saturday at the home game.
They might be.
I'd have
But I
them
will
right
tell
out.
you the U
I'd
of
have them
H
on the
fans-
horse, on the back of the horse.
Yeah, riding the horse, guns up the whole way. But
Yeah.
it was fun, and I will tell you, the U of H fans were very nice. It was a very pleasant
Good.
experience. I had a good exchange
Right.
with a lot of them. We had fun, and I know a lot of people that went to U of H, and we were saw some of those folks out there, and went to the Red Raider Club tailgate before, and it was a lot of fun. But I will say that the U of H fans were very, very, very gracious before the game and nice, and we were having some good, friendly exchanges about our teams, and it was a good game day experience out there, I will say.
Oh, I love it.
At TDECU, and it was fun. We had a good time, and looking forward to them playing them again. I don't know when we play you. We don't play U of H every other year. It's a weird schedule.
Yeah,
But
it's
it was
a whole different
fun,
world.
and I'm looking forward to coming up. I think did we decide I'm coming up for the BYU game?
BYU. You're gonna have to come in early. We're gonna come in early. We're gonna make this. We're gonna do this podcast in the same town.
By then we'll be set to do it live from the stadium.
We'll be doing it live from somewhere. I
Somewhere.
don't know if we can say the stadium. It's going to be close to the stadium. We don't really know. We'll be around the stadium, probably in a public place.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, looking forward to it.
It's going to be great, man.
A great weekend here because it's not going to be hot as hell and the humidity level is down. And I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoys your college football team. And
besides that one school, we don't care about the one school.
Are not in the playoffs, of course, but
Well, baseball is just such a long sport. It's just a long sport.
Deal.
It is. It's just long. It's a commitment and a half. But anyway, the Tigers are still in. They're playing. They're playing to stay alive, I think, today or tonight. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But listen, everybody, we are so thankful that you tuned into this episode of Risk Raiders. We hope you have a great weekend, and we hope to talk to you next week. Brent, I always enjoyed it. It's good to see you. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Baby.
Guns up.